Hello, humans. Welcome to our first practice together and happy April 1st. There will be no tricks today, even though it's April Fool's. And on behalf of Yoga Prince George, I'd like to extend a very warm welcome. Whether you've been on your mat a million times or you're new to yoga, very warm welcome. We're so excited to be doing this, and it wouldn't be unfolding this way if it wasn't for you. So thank you again. And I just would like to invite you to consider what your intention is this month. Maybe it's something that you've thought about already. And if not, you have time. Whether that intention is to build strength, to increase your flexibility, maybe reach a fun different pose, or maybe just get familiar with your body, whatever that is, I would just like to invite you to approach it in a way that is so kind and lose any judgment towards yourself. As you'll discover throughout this month, there are many different poses, many different body types, and sometimes that expression of the pose can be different for everybody. So, with that being said, today we are going to start in a comfortable seated position. If you have blocks or something that you might use in place of blocks, you might want them today. You might also use a really firm cushion. I'm sitting on a block right now. It really helps to lift your hips up, give yourself a little bit more space, especially if you feel like your hips have been tight. And then it allows for you to sit with a really nice straight spine. So find that support if you need that. We might also be using a strap today. So if you don't have a strap, no worries. You can grab a tea towel or something like that to use that. So as you get ready, find your seat. You might reach beneath your body and separate your glutes, allowing your sit bones to find support. Again, that allows for an anterior tilt of your pelvis, spine nice and tall. As you feel ready, close your eyes and start to connect with your breath. Allow for a longer, slower, and smoother breath. See if you can fill your belly all the way with each inhale. And if life has been a little hectic, maybe you find a full sigh out your mouth. Let your eyes soften in their sockets. Relax your jaw. Let go of any tension through your forehead or temples. And then gently allow your chin to fall towards your chest. Take a big breath into the back of your neck. And sigh it out. Allow your left ear to slowly roll over your left shoulder and pause. Notice the stretch in the right side of your neck, and then reach your right fingers out and down, just slightly away from your body. See if you can explore and find a sweet spot that will bring that stretch down into your shoulder, maybe even your bicep. You might reach slightly behind your body. You might even turn your palm to the sky, your thumb to the back. And once you've found that sweet spot, pause. Send your inhale there. And then allow your hand to come back into your lap. Your left ear stays where it is. With your nose, begin to draw a little no motion, slowly moving your head from left to right. Let your movements grow a little bit larger. Let your awareness stay with the right side of your neck. Notice how this movement changes the stretch. And then pause in stillness. Start to make a little yes motion, moving your nose up and down. Again, I challenge you to move slowly. Enjoy the subtle pleasure of stretching. Keep your eyes, your face relaxed. Allow your movements to grow. And then pause in stillness. Find one more big inhale into your right neck. Exhale, gently roll your chin back through center, right ear over your right shoulder. Notice the stretch in the left side of your neck. And then reach your left fingers out and away from your body. They might reach down towards the earth. They might be slightly behind you. And find that sweet spot. Would it feel good to turn your palm to the sky and reach your thumb back? And once you've found that sweet spot, send a full inhale there. Your hand comes back into your lap, and with your nose, start to make that little no motion. Just a very subtle and slow movement of your nose from side to side. You might keep your eyes closed. Let your awareness go inwards. I find that a bit easier if I'm not looking at other things. Then pause in the middle, find that yes motion. Starting slow and small. Then maybe letting your movements grow a little bit larger and larger. And finally, pause in stillness. Send one more inhale to the left side of your neck. Exhale, let it go. Your chin rolls back to your chest, and then keep going. Start drawing large circles with your neck. Again, moving so slowly, like you're exploring each degree, each angle. If there's clicking or crunching at the back of your neck, that's normal. As you begin to move that area, you might notice that that noise, that sensation starts to grow smaller. The next time that your chin reaches your chest, change directions. And this time, as you move, observe any last part of your neck that still feels tight or tense. And once you've located that spot, give yourself permission to bring a stretch into that area and linger. Send one more inhale to that particular place. Exhale your chin back to your chest and roll your head up. Nice neutral neck. Start to move your shoulders, shrugging them up to your ears and then rolling them down your back. And as you roll them down, bring your shoulder blades a little bit closer together. You might find that your circles get so large that your elbows have no choice but to be involved. 2 more. Again, just observe if there's crunching or clicking. Instead of being frustrated, just notice, no judgment. On a big inhale, sweep your fingers wide and high, look up. As you exhale, cactus your arms. Big breath in, elbows go back, heart goes forward. Exhale, release. Fingers find the earth. We'll do that a few more times. Inhale, reach up. Stretch the front and the sides of your body. Exhale, cactus. Can you slow your breath down? Big inhale to expand. Exhale, float your fingers down. Find 2 more just like that at your own pace. Last one, make it count. And then blink your eyes open. Let your left fingers reach towards the earth. Inhale your right fingers high. As you exhale, lean to the left. Bring a stretch into the right side of your body. As you breathe in, it might feel good to sway up slightly. Then exhale to deepen. Keep your right hip on the earth. One more inhale to float up. Exhale, find the side bend. Notice the stretch all throughout the right side of your body. Could you lift your heart? Take a big breath in and sigh it out. Inhale, rise up, right hand comes to the earth, left fingers reach. Exhale, lean to the right. Let your inhale inspire you up. Your exhale floats you down. One more inhale up. Exhale, find the deepest side bend that feels good for you. Left hip stays firm on the earth or your support. And then lift your heart. Notice that stretch all along your left side body. Find a big breath in. Exhale to stay. Inhale, rise up. We're going to come to a tabletop position. So if you'd like to swing your legs off to one side, do that. You might send your hands over the cross of your legs. And then shift your knees underneath your hips, your hands beneath your shoulders. Spread your fingers wide. You're going to press into the base of your fingers and then scrunch your fingers towards your hands. This creates lots of strength in your hands and your wrists. Find a little sway of your hips from side to side. And then pause in the middle. We'll practice my favorite. It's called cat-cow. As you inhale, let your low belly drop. Pull your chest through the gateway of your shoulders. Gaze up. Exhale to round your spine. Press the earth away. Make space between your shoulder blades. The top of your head gets heavy. Slow breath in. Belly drops. Heart pulls forward. Exhale to round. Start to move at the pace of your own breath. Again, slowing down your breath and matching the entire length of your movement to your breath. You might close your eyes, bring your attention inward once again. Just notice your spine as you move. And for this last round, just observe if there's any last area that still feels tense. And then give yourself permission to linger there. Find a full round of breath. Send your inhale to that place that needs a stretch. Then widen your knees slightly. Your hands might reach a little bit closer to the top of your mat. Let your cat-cow get off its tracks. Keep your eyes closed and just let your body lead you, not worrying about how this looks, just enjoying how it feels. Stretch through the sides of your body, your ribs, maybe even your hips. And wherever you are, find 2 more full rounds of breath. And we'll all meet in a tabletop position. Knees come back under your hips, hands come back under your shoulders. Sit your hips back on your heels and give your wrists a little roll. And then roll them the weird way. Give them a little shake. And then take your thumb and your middle finger on your right hand and circle your left wrist. Start to give it a little massage, a little squeeze. There's all sorts of bones and little tiny muscles in our wrists that need a little attention. This doesn't seem like it does a lot, but it's very impactful. And then switch sides. You might notice again that little bit of popping or clicking. That's okay. Good, and then come forward. Option to grab your blocks if you'd like to lift your hands up a little bit higher, Or simply bring your knees together, pour your weight into your left knee, step your right foot forward. As you do so, take a moment to play. Notice what feels tight or tense. Take a full breath in. Exhale, very generous bend in your right knee. Walk your hands up on top of your thigh, and then let your hips get really heavy here. Notice the stretch at the front of your left hip. Take a big breath in. Sigh it out. You might stay like this with your hands on your hips, or squeeze your thighs, squeeze your bum. Inhale your fingers forward and up. Exhale to soften your shoulders. And then maybe you lift your gaze, start to lift your heart. That will intensify the stretch in the front of your left hip. Find a full breath in. Exhale, cactus your arms. Big inhale, expand. Exhale, release your fingers and bring both hands to the inside of your right foot. Heel toe your right foot over so that your toes are off your mat and your heel is on your mat. And then let your pelvis get really soft and relaxed, like it's heavy. Stay here if this feels like enough, or begin to open through your right knee, bringing the weight of your leg onto the pinky toe edge of your foot. If that bothers your ankle at all, then pull your toes towards your shin. You might stay here. You might find a very gentle sway from left to right. You might lower down onto your forearms, or maybe you walk your left hand a little bit further forward and then begin to roll your left hip down towards the mat. Look back at your toes, reach your right fingers back as well. You can shrug into your left shoulder, let the left side of your body get heavy. Take a big breath in. And sigh it out. One more inhale. Let it go. Bring your right palm all the way back up. Both hands touch the earth. And then close off your right knee. Send your hips back. And then bring your right knee back in line with your left. Just for a moment, find a gentle sway of your hips from side to side. Full round of breath. And then pause. Weight comes into your right knee. Step your left foot forward. Take a moment to play. Just notice any areas of tension or tightness. And that might be different every day. Find one more inhale. Exhale, find a generous bend in your left knee. And then walk your hands up on top of your thigh. Let your pelvis get really heavy. Bring that stretch into the front of your right hip. Pause here for a full inhale. And let it go. You might stay just as you are, or find a little squeeze of your thighs to give yourself more stability. Inhale your fingers forward and up. Exhale, soften through your shoulders. Big breath in, lift your heart, lift your gaze. Exhale, stay just as you are. One more inhale, send it to the front of your right hip. Exhale, cactus your arms. Big breath in, expand. Exhale, begin to tip forward, bring both hands to the inside of your left foot. Heel toe your left foot over so that your toes are off your mat and your heel is on. Once you're here, even though you know where we're going, don't rush. Let your body have the time to catch up to your brain. If this feels like enough, you might stay as you are. You might open through your left knee to bring the weight of your leg onto the pinky toe edge of your foot. Option to flex your foot if that bothers your ankle. And then you might find a gentle sway. You might start to lower down if that works for you. Or step your right hand forward. Begin to roll your right hip back towards the mat. Reach your left fingers and gaze back. Let your right side body get heavy. You can slouch into your shoulder just that one time. Take a full breath in. And let it go. One more inhale. As you exhale, left fingers come back around, plant both palms on the mat beneath your shoulders, and close your left knee. And then send your hips back, slide your knee in line with your right. Again, find that little sway of your hips from side to side. Bring your knees together once again. Walk your hands a little bit ahead of your shoulders, and then begin to shift your shoulders past your wrists. Just find a little plank from your knees. Squeeze your bum, and then begin to bend your elbows. See if you can move slowly. Reverse tricep push-up. Let your elbows rub alongside your rib cage. Slow, slow, slow. Come all the way down onto your belly. Toes are untucked. Press into the tops of your feet to lift your knees off the mat. Squeeze your bum. Your palms are underneath your shoulders, and your elbows pull back like you're widening across your collarbones. Keep the back of your neck really nice and long. Again, squeeze your bum. Inhale, peel your heart off the mat. Notice that strength in your bum and your low back. You might stay here. You might lift your palms off the earth. Inhale, can you squeeze up a little higher? And then exhale, lower all the way down. Create a little pillow for your ear and find a sway of your hips. Your core is only as strong as your back. And that's something that a lot of us forget, or maybe just never learned. We think it's all about our abs, but it's not. So we'll do that one more time. Hands come under your shoulders, elbows go back, widen across your collarbones, and then press into the tops of your feet to lift your knees. Squeeze your bum. Inhale, peel your heart as high as it'll go. Keep squeezing your bum to protect your low back. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you send your arms back alongside your body. Let your palms face the earth. Lift the back of your hands to the sky. Feel that engagement of your arms. Full inhale. Exhale, turn your head the other way, create that little pillow, shake out your hips. And then pause in stillness for just a moment. Can you breathe so deeply that you stretch all the muscles of your back body? And sigh it out. One more breath like that. And let it go. And then curl your toes under. Bring your hands beneath your shoulders. Press into your hands and your knees to lift up into your table. Knees come together. Your hands can reach a little closer to the top of your mat. Pour your weight into your toes, actually, and begin to lift your hips up. Keep that bend in your knees. Downward facing dog. Find a little pedal of your legs. One heel at a time reaches towards the earth. Notice that stretch in the back of your legs. Enjoy that sensation. You might even feel a stretch all the way up into your hips. And then bend very generously into just your right knee. Send a big breath into the back of your left leg. Sigh it out. Switch sides. Big breath into the back of your right leg. Exhale, let it go. Both heels reach towards the earth. They don't have to touch. Look towards your hands. Inhale. And as you exhale, bend your left knee and shift forward to bring your knee to the back of your left wrist. Set your shin down at any angle and then lower through your hips. Rise up onto the tips of your fingers. And just notice that stretch at the front of your right hip. If it feels like enough of a stretch, then stay just as you are, or curl your back toes under to lift your knee, finding an active stretch. Full breath in. Exhale, start to soften. Lower your hips, untuck your toes, find a gentle sway from side to side, and then very slowly, with patience, begin to walk forward. Find your sleeping pigeon. You might use blocks. You might come down onto your forearms or lay all the way down. Our goal here is to stretch our outer left hip. So if you're not quite feeling it, you might experiment by rolling your left hip onto the earth and bending into your right knee for deer pose. If pigeon works better for you, then stay in your pigeon. Option to place a block beneath your left hip if you're rolling that way, or maybe you place one underneath your chest or somewhere that's supporting your body. Find your most comfortable pigeon. Our goal is not to find the most intense sensation, so take a step or two back from your edge, and then close your eyes. Let your face soften and relax once again. Let go of tension from your forehead. Relax your jaw. See if you can breathe so deeply that you notice expansion in the left side of your hip. And with each exhale, see if you could soften even a little bit more, consciously letting go of any gripping of your muscles. If sleeping pigeon feels like you never want to leave, then you might give yourself permission to linger here. If you'd like to stretch the front of your right thigh, then slowly begin to rise up. Bend into your right knee just to experiment for a moment. Notice if there's discomfort in your kneecap, and if there is, you might scoot your right knee back a tiny bit more. This is the place where you might reach for your tea towel or your strap. We're going to reach our right fingers back towards our toes. So find that bend in your right knee, toes point towards the sky. You might lift up on top of your left fingers. Inhale your right fingers forward, up and around to take hold of the inside of your right foot. Once you have your foot or your strap, kick your foot back. Bring a stretch into your right chest and armpit, maybe even down into your bicep. Find a full inhale. As you exhale, pull your foot into your body any amount. You might feel an intense stretch right away. Whatever arises, if it's frustrating, breathe through it. We're here for 3 slow breaths. Last full inhale. As you exhale, slowly with control, release your foot. If you're still down in your sleeping pigeon, rise up. Both palms come onto the earth. Scrunch your fingers towards your hands. Curl your back toes under to scoot your knee a little bit closer. And then send your left leg back for down dog. Enjoy that rush of blood and that sensation as it returns to your left leg. You might pedal it out, you might sway your hips. Full breath in. Slow breath out. Give yourself permission to linger in down dog if this feels really good. You might take a child's pose for a moment, or if you'd like to go for a little flow, then inhale, shift forward to find high plank, shoulders past your wrists. Exhale, tap your knees down, slowly lower all the way down onto your belly. Inhale, press the tops of your feet down to lift your knees, lift your heart, squeeze your bum, baby cobra. Exhale, lower down, curl your toes under, press into your knees and palms to rise first into your table and then into your downward dog. Full inhale, side out your mouth. And then look towards your hands, breathe in. As you exhale, begin to shift forward, bringing your right knee to the back of your right wrist. Shin can be at any angle. And then lower through your hips. Maybe rise up onto the tips of your fingers. Find a little gentle sway. Notice that stretch at the front of your left hip. If you'd like that to be a bit more intense, curl your toes under to lift your knee. Find a full breath in. Exhale, relax, start to soften and lower down. Again, giving your body the time to catch up to your brain. Our target area is the outer right hip. So find that stretch that's not painful, but a place where you can completely soften your hips and relax down into your pigeon. This side might be a little bit different than the other. You might experiment once again by rolling your right hip down to the earth and bending into your left knee for deer pose. Or if pigeon works better for you, then stay as you are. What's happening with your eyes? Could you soften them a little bit more? Relax your forehead, your jaw, and start to send your breath to your outer right hip. Find 2 more slow rounds of breath. If sleeping pigeon feels so incredible and you'd like to stay, then stay. If you'd like to stretch out your quad, then rise up, tense your right fingers in the middle of the mat, and experiment with that bend in your left knee. If it's uncomfortable on your kneecap, then scoot your knee back a little bit more. And then as you feel ready, reach for your strap or send your left fingers forward, up, and around. Take hold of the inside of your left foot. Kick your foot away. Notice that stretch in your left bicep, shoulder, armpit. Full inhale. Exhale, pull your foot in any amount. Again, it might feel intense, it might feel frustrating. Whatever arises, find 3 deep breaths. Make your last inhale so large. And then without slingshotting your foot, slowly release it back to the earth. Both palms come down. Scoot your back toes under to move your knee forward, and then step back, find our last down dog of the practice. Paddle it out. Option to linger in down dog, find a child's pose, or go for one last flow. Inhale, shift forward, high plank, maybe your knees come down. You can lower all the way or bend your elbows halfway for a half chaturanga. As you inhale, untuck your toes, lift up, baby cobra or upward dog, knees lifted. Keep squeezing your bum and then curl your toes under to send your hips up and back, down dog. Little pedal out, full breath in, slow breath out. Bend your knees, bring them to the earth. Send your legs off to one side and sit back. Make sure there's space behind you on your mat, and then gently roll down. Hug your knees up and into your heart. Find a little sway from side to side. Massage your sacrum on the mat, that place where your spine meets your pelvis. And then soften your eyes once again. Is it possible to relax your shoulders? Take hold of your knees or your shins just below your knees and widen your knees towards your armpits. Keep your ankles soft. You might give them a little roll if they're feeling tense. And then again, pull your shoulders down to the earth, puff up your chest. Inhale deeply. Notice that stretch in your inner thighs and groin. Maybe you linger in stillness, or maybe you find a gentle sway. And if you'd like this stretch to be a little bit more intense and you're able to maintain a relaxed upper body, then send the soles of your feet skywards. Reach your peace fingers for your big toes, or maybe you hold onto your arches. Happy baby. Again, pull your knees down towards the earth, puff up your chest, shoulders on your mat. Breathe into your inner thighs and groin. Would it feel good to sway here? Would it feel good to bend and straighten into one leg at a time? Maybe both. Take a moment to play. It's happy baby after all. And if your legs are straight, lift your heels, pull your toes towards your face, find a big breath into the back of your legs. And then release your feet, bend your knees once again, bring the soles of your feet down to your mat. We're gonna find one last bridge before we enjoy a juicy twist on each side. So soles of your feet come under your knees. You might be able to reach your fingers towards your ankles and tickle the back of your ankles. Again, this is going to build strength in our low back. So press into your feet, squeeze your bum to lift your hips. Shift your shoulder blades closer together like you're opening across your chest, and then press your upper arms down into the mat. Option to grab onto the mat, or if you have the space, you can interlace your fingers beneath your hips. That doesn't quite work for my shoulders. So hold on to the mat, press your upper arms down, press into your feet, squeeze your bum, lift your hips a little higher, and then press so firmly into your heels that you send your chest towards your chin. Keep the back of your neck long, keep squeezing your bum. Think about bringing your inner thighs towards one another. Full breath in. Exhale, lift your heels off the mat, keep squeezing, release your fingers, and then slowly, one vertebra at a time, lower down. Good. Let your knees knock from side to side. Or maybe for you, it would feel amazing to give yourself one more hug. Even out your sides and then bring your knees back up. Press one last time into your feet to shift your hips all the way over to the left. Let your knees fall to the right. This really helps if you roll all the way over onto the right side of your hip. Let your legs be soft. You might even straighten your top leg. And if you have support, you can put it underneath your ankle. Reach your arms out wide, palms face up, take up space. It's okay if your left shoulder comes a little bit off the earth, but if it's way up there, then you might need some support beneath your arm. Option to bring this twist all the way up into your neck by looking over your left shoulder. I invite you to soften or close your eyes. Relax your face and jaw. And as you inhale, imagine that you're creating more length in your spine. With each exhale, soften a little more into this twist. Breathe so deeply that you feel expansion in your left armpit, rib cage, all the way down to your left hip. Find 2 more full rounds of breath. And after your last exhale, bring your gaze back through center and then your knees. Reset your spine in the middle of your mat and let your legs go long. Just for a moment, close your eyes and notice any difference that you've created from one side of your body to the other. And then once again, bend your knees, soles of your feet come under your knees. Shift your hips over to the right this time, and then let your legs fall to the left. Again, you might shift a little bit more onto your left hip. You might straighten your top leg, and then reach your arms out wide, palms face up. Would it feel good to gaze over your right shoulder? Soften through your face and jaw, eyes are closed. Breathe length into your spine. And notice the expansive feeling when you breathe in. Notice that in your right armpit, ribs, and right hip. Find 2 more rounds of breath. After your last exhale, bring your gaze back through center and then your legs. If your body is craving any last movement, any last stretch, give yourself permission to find that now. And without any rush, you'll make your way into your final resting pose, Shavasana. Shavasana it translates to mean corpse pose. And when you first hear that, it might sound a little bit morbid, but there's actually this really beautiful idea that in corpse pose, you release anything that did or did not happen, and you forget anything that is to come. So it's a way of giving yourself permission to be, and it's in rest that your body assimilates your practice. If you experience low back discomfort, I highly recommend placing something beneath your knees to give a little bit of relief to your low back. If your low back feels fine, then send your legs out long, reach beneath your body to separate your glutes, and let your tailbone find the earth. Soften your feet, let them splay open, and then gently bring your shoulder blades a little bit closer together. Send your arms out wide, take up space, you are worth it. Palms face up to allow your shoulder to rest comfortably in its socket. Notice if you could lengthen the back of your neck a tiny bit more. And when you're ready, close your eyes. Find a full inhale into your belly, fill all the way up. Sip in a little more air. Out your mouth, side out. One more, just like that. Soften your face and jaw. Start to notice all the places where your body is touching the support beneath you. Let those places grow a little heavier. Invite gravity into the back of your skull, shoulders and shoulder blades, upper arms, elbows, forearms, the back of your hands, all heavy. Relax your wrists, palms, thumbs, and all your fingers. Become aware of your chest and belly. Let them soften and relax. Allow heaviness into your hips, thighs, calves, and back of your heels. Relax your knees, shins, ankles, top of your feet, bottom of your feet, and finally all of your toes. The entire backside of your body is heavy and still. The entire front side of your body is soft and relaxed. Relax your eyes in their sockets. Relax your forehead, temples, even the skin of your scalp releases tension. Soften your jaw and allow yourself to stay here for as long as you can. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.